All right, so this morning I was able to finish the final standings and league leaders. So for those of you following the Patriot Football League, our 31st season is finished except for the playoffs and the championship game, the bowl game. However, I have compiled all the pertinent data this morning. So you can grab this PDF for those of you who are collecting the history of the PFL, either those of you in our league or those who are just curious about how I'm doing this. All right, so Colorado wins the West 9-4-1. They scored 19 league points. That makes them the best team in the league, and it's going to give them a bye directly into the Patriot Football Bowl 31. They ended up, after a pretty sobering start, Kingfisher struggled in the first half of the season. Second half of the season, really, their offense improved and their defense definitely improved. They ended up with plus 93 point differential. Mesa, despite a 5-1-1 start and winning the world championship over the Denver Snowcats, they kind of stumbled down the stretch. They had the tiebreaker on Colorado and would have won this division and would have gotten the bye. However, they choked in the final week, losing in the final week. Amazing. They had 17 points. They scored 331, again leading our league in points. However, they were also dead last in defense. Again, this team was a 3-0 in the Patriot in play action football. They are a AF in my game. So again, I use both games interchangeably depending on what I'm trying to do. PAF Express or Football Time, whatever versions. Anyway, long story short, they led the league again in scoring, but they had the worst defense. This team was only, when they were 5-1-1, they were only plus 18. So it was a 36-point flip for Mesa in the second half of the season. So winning the world championship might have gone to their head. I don't know. El Paso, again, this isn't a bad record. El Paso did, though, have a 10-4 season last year, so it's disappointing for El Paso. But with the restructure of the league, joining the West against the defending champions and the number one scoring team for the last 5 years, El Paso kind of up against it. Anyway, still not a horrible 4-9-1 and only minus 18, same as Mesa. They just got to get that offense back on track, and their defense was actually pretty good. I think they're a 1-2. So their defense isn't horrible. They gave up 240. They just did not muster enough points. Indianapolis found a way. They were kind of in a tussle all year with Carolina for the top spot. And fortunately, they came out on top 7-4-3, 17 points. They scored 245, gave up only 204. They were the second best scoring defense in the league by only 4 points. So Colorado just edged Indianapolis. Indy, though, plus 41. They are definitely a better balanced team going into the playoff. Carolina finished 6-6-2. That's not bad considering they were one of the worst teams in the league last year. I think they were 3-11 or 4-11 or 4-10 last year. Anyway, 14 points, 248, so not bad, but they gave up 285, minus 37. And the real shocker, 5-9 Dayton, 10 points. Dayton's defense is rated on paper a -3. They in Indianapolis are a -3. But Dayton just didn't fare well when the dice hit the table, -62. And really, 286 is the second worst defense in the league behind Mesa. Just falling outside of Carolina here. But the reality is Dayton's offense completely stumbling through the season. This was a kind of a shocker. I really expected Dayton to do better. Similar to the other team with a great defense, Indy. They just couldn't muster enough points. Anyway, there's a note here that Mesa did win the world championship against the 2050 WCFL Denver Snowcats. And then our league leaders and award winners. So our league MVP was the quarterback of the Mesa Machine. He threw for a record 30 touchdowns and had a record plus 19 touchdown ratio. So we have never seen 30 touchdowns in a season by a quarterback, and we've certainly have never seen a plus 19. So Andrew's phenomenal. That's how bad this defense is. However, He threw 7 interceptions in the last 7 games. He had 4 in the first 7. He had 7 in the last 7. So Andrews definitely stumbled down the stretch, but holy cow. Kingfisher, he started 7 touchdowns, 7 turnovers of the 0. He ended up improving quite a bit in the second half, throwing 12 touchdowns and 5 interceptions. Ends up with a +7, second best ratio in the league. And Olsen for the Carolina Devilfish, he had a stretch of 9 touchdowns in the 3-game window and really pushed him up to a +5. So those are our 3 best ratios. It was not a great year for quarterbacks. I mean, even Kingfisher struggled with 12 turnovers. Andrews struggled with 11. Just not a great year for quarterbacks as far as turnovers. We had a couple of quarterbacks with negative TDR, so that's not a good year. Rodriguez, for the second year in a row, led the league in rushing with 992 and 12 touchdowns. He didn't get 1,000, but he did get 12 TDs. Dupree for Indianapolis, 798 yards rushing, 9 touchdowns. And Jordan for Colorado had 582 and 10 touchdowns. Now, this is not rushing. These are totals, rushing and passing. Jordan had, I think, 5 and 5, which is pretty amazing. So out of the backfield, a threat to catch touchdowns. Dupree's, I think he was 7 and 2, and Rodriguez was 10 and 2. So Jordan really a threat out of the backfield for Colorado. Parks, again, the veteran receiver for Mesa Machine, led the league with 71 receptions, 12 touchdowns. Swanson for Colorado, 56 receptions, 9 touchdowns. And Hollis for Dayton, 42 receptions, 8 touchdowns. So not bad. O'Donnell, after I tallied up the box scores of all 14 games for Mesa, O'Donnell ended up, this guy was a rookie, nobody. He ends up being the best defensive lineman with 10 box score points. This is sacks, big hits, fumble recoveries, interceptions, blocks, whatever. However he shows up in the box score, 10 times in 14 games he showed up in the box score. He had a game where he had 3 in one game. So he got 7 the rest of the way. Bjork, who I thought had like 5 or 6, going back and counting through them, he ends up with 9, counting a couple tackle for losses. So he ends up having another fantastic season for Dayton. And Bevins of Indy ties in defensive linemen with 9. So these are our top 3 linemen out of the 6 teams. Tyson, for the second year of his career, has 13 box score points. Indianapolis Tyson, he is like the Ray Lewis of our he is truly amazing. Second year that he has earned 13 points and been the defensive player of the year. Jacobs, a fantastic linebacker for Dayton, 9. Keynes for Colorado, 7. Keynes, this is amazing. Colorado produced Keynes with 7, a rookie cornerback with 7, and their star safety with 6. However, Bankhead does get top DB over his veteran superstar teammate Oscar with 6. And Colburn, who came over from the Northborough Tigers when they folded to the Mesa Machine, despite being a crappy, this is what's amazing, despite being a bad defense, they ended up with the league's top defensive lineman and the league's top DB, or second DB, tied with Oscar. So imagine if Mesa Machine could get all the other parts of their defense running. They might have absolute superstar defense, but they've got to get it done. Return men, there were 4 in the league, tied with 1. And then the top place kicker in the league was Indianapolis Paul Key, made 19 field goals in the league. Defensive player of the year was Tyson. Defensive rookie of the year was Bankhead of Colorado. And notables, running back Parker for Mesa Machine had 11 touchdowns, 9 rushing, or 7 rushing and 4 receiving or something. So Parker didn't get a lot of yardage, but he had 11 TDs. So it's a notable. Valdez of El Paso, linebacker, had 6 box score points. He just didn't make the top 3. Valdez has had a couple of great years. And Yoy, picked up from Omaha in the folding of the Omaha Americans last year. Colorado grabs the place kicker Yoy, and he makes 18 field goals, 1 shy of Polk. They were tied at midseason, 10 field goals apiece. Polk made an extra field goal in the remaining 7 weeks, and Yoy made 8 field goals in the remaining 7 weeks. So they were tied at 10 each, which was pretty cool. All right, so the star denotes season records. And again, we did have a record set. Andrews with 30 touchdown passes and a plus 19 touchdown ratio. Andrews is in his, I think, 10th or 11th year. So Andrews may not be around much longer, but holy cow. What a great year. Parks, his top receiver, is in his 12th year. So he probably won't be around much longer either. Andrews has been MVP. Andrews is going to make my Hall of Fame. You don't set passing records this late in your career and be a world champion and be the MVP 2 out of the last 3 years and not make the Hall of Fame. So Andrews is a sure ballot Hall of Famer. Parks, I hate to say it, he has been the top threat, but would Andrews have made any of the receivers this good? Maybe. So it's one of those things where has he benefited from playing with Andrews? Right now, I have to say yes. If they can win the championship, I think Parks will make it into my Hall of Fame. Swanson has a really good chance to make it. He's a multi-champion winner. He's been Kingfisher's top receiver for years, and he always has a good ratio. Last year, he caught a touchdown every 4 passes. This year, he caught a touchdown every 5.5 passes. I think Swanson's a sure ballot Hall of Famer. So we'll see. Tyson is on pace to be one of the best linebackers in our history. Oscar is already a Hall of Fame safety for the Colorado. Colburn, the MBT, if they had won a championship, if Mesa can find a way to muster a championship, that would put Colburn in our Hall of Fame as a DB. So we got some guys, and by the way, only one rookie shows up here, O'Donnell and Bankhead. I'm sorry, 2, O'Donnell and Bankhead are showing up. Not a lot of rookies affecting offense this year. Anyway, the playoff is Mesa Machine because they did not win a division. Mesa at Indy. And then the winner of this game will play Colorado for a chance to be PFL champs. Colorado already defending champs. If they win this, it'll be the 3rd time in their history they have been back-to-back champs. So pretty damn cool. All right, everybody, if you want to grab this, I'll put a link in the video description box. You can grab these files, among others. I mean, the last few years, since we expanded the league and invited more people from the community in, I have been posting these. All of my other records and things, I used to have a huge file that people could grab, and I don't have it up anymore, but there was a file that had scans and scans and scans of box scores and seasons. And anyway, long story short, it's up for those who want to grab it. I'll put a link to, matter of fact, let's do this right now. We'll put a link and you can grab that file. All right. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.